Well, the Dallas Cowboys reported to training camp, and not among those players was wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. As expected, today we'll break down all of what that entails. Let's get to it. Here we go. What is up, everyone, and welcome into A to Z Sports Dallas Primetime. I am your host, Mauricio Rodriguez, streaming with you live every Sunday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central here on Dallas On Demand Sports Talk Network, and catching up with you in between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, quick-hitting videos such as this one. My bad on no video yesterday. There was a video, I just did not schedule it right, so it went out today. So we have a double header on this beautiful Wednesday. Cowboys reported to training camp. They won't practice until Thursday, so we're going to have to wait a little bit for the clips and all that, which I'm sure we'll have a chance to react to tomorrow on the live show on Thursday. But CeeDee Lamb, unsurprisingly, did not report. Became official pretty much on Tuesday night when Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, the Dallas Morning News, everyone started reporting that CeeDee was not going to show up. I don't think Cowboys Nation needed reporters to really break this news, because I think we all kind of knew what was going to happen anyways. CeeDee did not show up to OTAs. CeeDee did not show up to minicamp. There was no reason to believe that Lamb was about to show up in Oxnard and surprise everybody, because from all that we've heard, there's not been anything close to a deal so far. And by the way, so far reports seem to indicate that there have been no substantial conversations going on. Who knows what that means? That's a tricky thing with the NFL reporting world. You never know who is telling who what. Why are they telling them that, right? Because there might be some progress, but if one side is not liking the progress that is taking place, they might just hit up a report and be like, nah, nothing noteworthy has happened yet. And then they like to negotiate through media. We know the Cowboys are no strangers to that. The main question right now, I think, in the minds of everybody is, when will CeeDee Lamb show up? And obviously, that answer depends on, is there a deal in place or not? Because the Cowboys in the past have got into training camp and have sped up things. That wouldn't be a surprise to anybody. And here's the thing about the CeeDee Lamb situation. I think it would be surprising if this doesn't get solved quickly. This is not like the Dak Prescott situation. Dak, first and foremost, is a quarterback, so the extension that you would be talking about with him is much more massive than CeeDee's. Absolutely, just because of the position that they happen to play. Additionally, Dak is in a position to actually reset the quarterback market, whereas with CeeDee, that's not really the case. Dak has the one-way ticket to free agency. Dak is in a place where if he wants to get to the open market, there's literally nothing the Cowboys can do, because they cannot tag him, they cannot trade him. It's just a matter of, do you reach an agreement with him, or do you let him walk in free agency, honestly, at this point? Whereas with CeeDee, if the Cowboys wanted to, in theory, they could tag him in 2025. Heck, they could even do it in 2026 as well. So technically, they have him under control, right? Whatever that means for the Cowboys, at least as of now. And it would be very tough for CeeDee to hold out into the regular season. It's just something that we don't really see a lot in the NFL, even when agreements are not reached. And here is the most important part of it, in my opinion. There's already such a clear-cut template to copy and paste into CeeDee's offer, right? Justin Jefferson just signed with the Minnesota Vikings a 4-year deal worth $140 million with highly comparable numbers to CeeDee Lamb's. There are some differences in there, of course. There are. CeeDee, for example, I believe still has less yards than Justin Jefferson, and Justin Jefferson did play 6 more games than him, but CeeDee has more touchdowns. There are some key differences, but you look at them side by side, you will find out, and we have done that here on Primetime, you will find out that CeeDee and Justin are in very similar situations. There's a high likelihood that that is what the both sides are using as a framework for the deal whenever it so happens. There might be some difference in what the guarantees should be. There might be some differences in the language of certain situations specifically. in the cash flow of things. But ultimately, I do think CeeDee Lamb is going to end up signing a deal that pays him $35 million a year. It's probably going to be along the lines of 4 years on the contract. And CeeDee and Justin Jefferson are going to be making pretty much the same amount of money when it's all said and done. With Dak, there's no such thing. Because sure, you've got two quarterbacks that came in at $55 million per year in Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence, but none of those two guys had the ability to reach the open market as quickly as Dak Prescott is gonna, if he so wishes to, next March. So there's a big difference in that aspect, right? Now, how long could it take if the Cowboys and CeeDee drag this out longer than it needs to? Honestly, I would think it would happen until the start of the regular season. Like, I wouldn't see CeeDee Lamb caving in the middle of the preseason and being like, okay, now I'm back. Can he be fined? In theory, yes. I saw Adam Schefter tweet that CeeDee Lamb could be fined $40,000 per day. I might be wrong about this, but I've looked at the CVA and reread those two articles time and time again. I believe it's actually $50,000 per day, because although CeeDee Lamb is on a rookie deal, which if you're on a rookie deal, first 4 years of your contract, you can only be fined $40,000 per day that you miss from training camp. But CeeDee is on his fifth-year option, and there's an area in the CBA where they specify, hey, if you're in a fifth-year option, you can be fined $50,000 per day, which was the case, for example, with Nick Bosa last year. He was being fined $50,000 per day on his fifth-year option year. So I think that's the actual number. Pretty sure for CeeDee Lamb. Key difference, though, as opposed to with a veteran player, CeeDee or the Cowboys can actually rescind CeeDee's fines. So they can write them off whenever they want to, which is important to keep in mind. Because if you're a veteran player on a veteran deal, then that is not the case. Per the new CBA, the team cannot waive those fines away. Because they try to fix that with the last CBA. But for rookies, that does not apply. So even though he's on a fifth-year option year, he's still on his rookie deal. And as soon as they reach an agreement, the Cowboys are going to be like, oh, yeah, you don't have to worry about the fines. We have those out of the picture. And even if he was actually being fined this amount of money, I'm not sure how much of an impact it would have for a player that is looking for a $140 million per year contract. CeeDee might know that, hey, this trade-off is worth it because I'm going to get paid big-time money if I end up getting my deal. And keep in mind, CeeDee is set to make somewhere around $18 million in 2024, which is vastly lower than what he would make if a deal is finally signed during these next few weeks or whatever. So fines are really not going to matter for the Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb in this decision-making process. I really believe that. Additionally, I kind of see a lot of reasons why this should get resolved pretty quickly, because there's a deal template from Justin Jefferson. If there are a lot of differences, then that's because one of these two sides is being stubborn, and that could go for the Cowboys just as well as it could go for CeeDee Lamb. Because if also CeeDee's camp is going in there and being unreasonable, asking for more money than Justin Jefferson, which I think it's a pretty tough case to make that you deserve more. I think everyone would agree that you likely deserve the same, if not slightly less, because Justin Jefferson has somewhat of an advantage in the numbers compared to you, considering that he has 6 games less or 6 fewer games under his belt than you do. You know, but ultimately, I do think they're pretty much in the same tier. They're going to end up being paid the same amount of money. And by the way, here's my contract prediction. I think it's going to be the exact same. 4 years, $140 million with a key difference. Justin Jefferson got $110 million in guaranteed money. I wouldn't be surprised if CeeDee comes in slightly under 100 or maybe even at 100, but slightly under Justin Jefferson's guaranteed money. We'll see what happens. Let me know in the comments. Are you worried or not worried at all with the CeeDee Lamb and Cowboys situation? I think they end up paying him. I think the template is there. They just got to agree with some language aspects of the contract. And CeeDee Lamb should be in Oxnard pretty soon, in my opinion. I don't feel the same way about Dak. I think that if the deal gets done with Dak, it likely comes down to the wire, right? Near the end of training camp, if you will. We'll see how it all plays out. Hopefully we are wrong. Hopefully everyone gets paid right away and the Cowboys can't stop sweating all of this. But in the meantime, though, we'll talk again tomorrow live about the first day of practice of Cowboys training camp. Excited to get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Hit the like button, by the way, if you haven't. Come on, hit the like button.